thing to look for is the rim, because it's a rolled rim. They'll rat out in that roll. Because the reason I decided to do this he brought a wheel like this to the meeting, didn't know what the heck it was, and I stood there and waited for a long time listening, and I heard all kind of crap. This is a 3031 Model A. Laced the same way, hubcap's bigger, it's a 3 1/4, I think it was.
Cold.
Now here's where people screw up. 32, well, the 29 is a 21-inch wheel. 3031 is a 19. 32 they went to 18. I don't happen to have one here, but it looks just like this, only an inch bigger. Laced the same way, same center. People are usually looking for 16s, which is this was a 35 Ford wheel. They'll buy this one. They'll measure these from out here to here, and so, well, that's a 17. That's not it. You got to go to the drop part. That's where they measure it from. They're all welded. They were made by Bud or Ford, depending on which pile they're digging them out of when they were putting the cars together. So these are the factory Ford wheels. Now comes the trouble. In 1932, Kelsey Hayes, well, actually I should go back further than that. In 31, Goodyear brought on an accessory wheel to make the cars look more like the big luxury cars. This is a Goodyear air wheel. It's NOS, has F on the back. Now they made it for other cars. These accessory wheels are made for other cars too, so you have to watch the bolt pattern, because there's like 5 different bolt patterns. But this one came out in 32. I don't have the hubcaps because they got stolen on me.
Those pretty rare? Cool, I've never seen one.
Those are really rare.
Okay.
Those are as rare as Martin is, which I don't have. I don't have a Martin wheel. Martin wheels came out in 33. And I don't know when they probably all through the 30s they made them. So that was the first one. It was made to try to make a lowly Model A or Model 8, anything 35 Ford look like a bigger, heavier car than it really was. So then in 32, Kelsey brought out this wheel. It's got 40 spokes. It's slipped through on this end and welded on this end. The Ford wheel, the 35 Ford, is welded on both ends. They're very similar except for the bent spoke, and these are double crossed. It's X'd here and X'd over top of the spoke, the next spoke over on the inside lacing. These are the ones everyone's looking for. They also buy this one, thinking it's this one. This one, these are 16s by the way. Looks similar, but it's different. This is Kelsey. This is Bud. If you notice, the spokes aren't double crossed, they're single crossed. There's 38 spokes on these and 40 spokes on these.
36 or 38?
38 on these, 40 on these. And the way to tell at a quick glance, the valve stem hole on the Bud with the 38s, it's right above a cross. On the Kelseys, without counting, it's a spoke goes into it. It's not V'd around it. Oh, on these too. You're looking at these in the mud, trying to find your 16s, real quick way. 32 to 34. The valve stem hole is in the crown of the drop center, and there's a lip around it. 36 is in the flat, right here. So that's how you can tell real quick when you just look at it and not trying to figure it out. Or you carry a tape, always go to a swap meet with a tape, a magnet. And if you want to, you can even have one of those wheel lug spacer things. These are all 5.5. These are the Ford stuff. They did make these for Chevys and Dodges and Pontiacs and all that, so there's different bolt circles on these. Then Motor Wheel came along and made this one. This one's single cross. They're at the hub instead of at the here, and they have nipples. You can adjust it like a bicycle wheel. These you can true up. They're not Kelsey's. People call them Kelsey's, people call these Kelsey's. You can do it, I've seen these two on the same car. And the guy never even know it. So, yeah, so this is the motor wheel version. Just as good as the rest, has the adjustable spokes. The spokes are a little bit heavier.
How many spokes on that one?
These are 36, I believe. I mean, 38 also. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
36.
36. Anyway, but they're all good wheels. They're all 16 inches for your hot rods.
Is the manufacturer stamped on anywhere, Cole, or not?
If you got a wheel that's not rusted away, on the motor wheel, it says motor wheel right by the valve stem hole, if you can find it. The Kelsey's, I think there's a KH, which is Kelsey Hayes on the back somewhere. I don't remember now. Then, here's where the real trouble starts. You're looking for these for your hot rod. You show up and you go, oh wow, look what I found. An 18-inch Kelsey. It's got the bent spokes. These are nippled. This is actually a 31 Plymouth wheel. No, this is sorry.
You got a raise on that one.
This is the 31 Plymouth wheel. So you get it home and you go through it on your car, you test fit it. It's a 4.5-inch bolt circle. Will not fit on your Ford. But it'll fit on your fiberglass Mullins trailer because that's what the axle has. But the problem with that is the Ford hubcap is 5 3/4. The Plymouth hubcap is 6. So it's supposed to fit like that, tight. It rattles around. You can't put your Ford hubcap on it on your hot or on your trailer. Now Dave LeCarry used to take a blob of Bondo and blob it in 3 spots and stick it on there, let it sit up, and they kind of stayed on for a while, but with the wheel flex, they'd eventually fly off and into the desert. I thought about taking a Plymouth hubcap and trying to see if we could skin the Ford skin out, but not quite enough heat to do it. See, if you see, the Ford cap is inside the Plymouth cap. So then, 31 Plymouth does have the right bolt circle. That's the one with the nipples. Has the right bolt circle, but this hole here is too big to rest on the center of the hub. And if you, and any of these wheels, if you're going to put them on 40 to 48 drums, you have to have a spacer inside here, so because this part of the wheel will bottom on the drum before the lug nut area will. They're spacers you can buy. I think Speedway's got them.
Cole, do you need those on the 35 Ford wheels too? On the late model drums?
On the late model drums, yes, you do. Any of these, even model out and everything, because the way the Ford drum was, it pooched out in the middle, and it rested on the drum and rested in the center where the bolts
Okay,
are.
I thought that was only Model 8 wheels. I'm glad to know that.
Now, any of the 35 and older, 35, 28 to 35.
Kelsey Hayes as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
Even if you're putting on the F1, F100 brakes, you have to have the spacer, because those drums are flatter, so you actually have a space in between here. You tighten it down and it's always stressing, because it's not at the bottom. So every time you go around a corner, it works and then starts splitting out your wheels. I've seen guys buy these, thinking they're rare 18 inches or 17 inches. Yeah, that would be rare because they didn't make them. They were all 16s, as far as I found out. I've never seen any advertising. I couldn't find I have papers on this out of magazines and stuff. I couldn't find it. I hadn't been able to find anything since I moved. This one, a guy brought to the meeting probably 15, 20 years ago. look what I got, 18-inch Kelsey. And there's a big crowd, and everyone was looking at it and oohing and on, and I never seen one of them before. So this went on for a half hour. Finally went over to see what was going on, because while everyone was crowded over there, I was looking at the cars. I walk over and go, what's so interesting about a 32 Chevy wheel? What do you mean? That's an 18-inch Kelsey. I said, no, they didn't make them. Count your wheel loads. The Chevys were 6-lug. They did make these in 6-lug, the Kelseys. They didn't do it, so you have to watch. So he threw the dumpster, so I dug it on my compressor hose has been hanging on it ever since. But the Ford hubcap, they got the same size. The Ford hubcap will fit this way. I've seen guys buy these thinking they're getting Kelsey. This is 32 Dodge Chrysler. It'll bolt on. Center hole's is bigger than the Ford, but it'll bolt on. But it will swallow the hubcap almost. It's way larger hubcap. And then this is a 34-35 Chrysler Dodge wheel.
It's really wide.
It's a lot wider. I mean, you couldn't use it, but you have to figure out a way to put a Ford cap on it or run a Chrysler cap. It's a lot wider than the rest. They're welded in at the rim, just swedged in on this side. They're double crossed, so they look a lot like this. See how close they look? Mm-hmm. But this is the Chrysler, that's the one made for the Ford. So when you're at the swap meet, you got to watch for this stuff if you're looking for these for your hot rod or your car. Right now I've got a set of 35 Fords on my 29 Model A. There's another wheel that came out in 33 that I don't have. I've never found them. I've seen them on one car. A 34 Vicky, I believe it is. Only pair I've seen on a car that wasn't in a magazine. Very hard to find. He's got the whole thing. And this one is almost, I would say the Martins and the Goodyears are the rarest ones to find. Now this artillery wheel, General tire, this is called a General Jumbo.
Yep.
They made them in 16-inch with this tire. They also made them, I believe it was a 13-inch with a big, like airplane tire, real fat and cushy, looked like a cartoon tire. But they're cool. I haven't seen any of those on a car. I've seen the single rims. Hubcaps are impossible to find because they stick out so far. They get clubbed on the curves. It wrecks them. But this is an original tire. That's the General Jumbo tire. I have two of them. This is the only one that's on the rim. Hubcaps, damn near impossible to find, like I said.
They repop those?
No one's repopping them. And it's double. It's got metal innards and then another metal chrome plate outside, or it might be brass on some of them. Two different shields. So if you're trying to find them, know which shield you're collecting, or put the one shield on one side and the other shield on the other side, and no one will notice.
What are they used on, that tire?
These were accessory wheels, aftermarket wheels they use on the Fords. They also had them, again, in other bolt circles, so you have to watch for that. Most common you're going to find is Ford and Chevy. You're going to find the 6 lugs and the 5.5-inch bolt circle for the
They
Fords.
advertised them for the good ride.
Yeah, they're supposed to be cushy. It's, air ride.
Yep.
It's supposed to have more rubber between here and here. Now we got rubber bands that are about this big. Yeah, we spent all from 28 from 26. They're 24s? I don't remember. Well, 29 was a 21-inch wheel. We spent years getting down. We got down to 13s. Now we're going back up again. We got 17s and 20s, and
Yeah.
I've seen some as big as 36, which is ridiculous.
Oh.
So we spent all those years getting smaller wheels and better ride with fatter tires, and now they're going back to, they might as well just have solid rubber tires on it like an old coal truck. Okay, anyone has a question about anything in particular?